went out for a day with my friend. There were four of us together in a really small cafe. There was me, Alan, Josh and Tony. We all had a long chat together and Alan mentioned that we all should go camping this weekend. So I says that sounds like a good idea, as it'd be nice to get away from work and explore around the area. So we all agreed to go camping this weekend. On Friday afternoon we drove quite a mile and we found a big lake with full of trees, and the best thing, there was no one else there. It's just for four of us. We all built up the tent together, and the tent had two double rooms for us to share. Later on we set up a fire and we all had a couple of drinks and laughing about some funny stories through the night. Soon it was getting late and we all decided to go get some sleep and wake up tomorrow morning so we can all go for a long walk. Alan is in the same room as me and we got two single beds, so Josh and Tony will be sleeping on the other side of the tent. For the past half an hour I was the only one who is still awake and I cannot sleep. I managed to close my eyes, but then I heard some rustling noise coming from one of the bushes. I feel so calm as I know it would be some sort of animal like a deer running past by, so it was nothing to worry about. But then sudden, I heard a noise that I never felt fear in my life. It sounded like someone was screaming. I got up the bed and I covered my mouth not to make a sound. I tried to wake Alan up and he wouldn't seem to be in a good mood as he was very tired. I said, "Did you hear that? I heard a scream coming from over there," I feared. Alan said, "Nah, it could be just Josh or Tony doing a silly prank on us." I went to go check on them hoping that they were messing about, but I can see that these two are still in bed just next door to us. I realised that scream definitely wasn't one of us. Alan said, "Stop it, just go to sleep, I'm tired, and I can't be bothered getting out of this bed." I went to go back to sleep and just forget the noise that I've heard, but then I heard the scream is even louder than what I heard earlier. Now I can see that Alan is terrified, and I hear Josh saying, "What the hell was that?" I said to them all I'm gonna go out and check who is screaming. I wandered around this forest and I can't seem to find anything. I walked back to my tent and I was confused that I can see a big shadow standing just outside of our tent, and I know it's not one of my friends. I went towards it, then it happened to just run off. It was too dark to see that it happened so fast. I got inside of the tent and I can see that three of my friends is shaking and terrified with their eyes wide open. I said, "Did you see who was that out there?" Alan said, "We thought it was you who was standing out there and staring at our tent, but it was huge." I can see that they all want to go home, and I want to go home because I feel like someone or something is stalking us. We packed all our gear and got in the car and head back home. I was driving and none of my friends have said a word in the car. I said, "Don't worry, we are on the way home. You lot can stay over at mine tonight." They all just nod their head in silence. While as I was driving, I see something huge on the road. There was a huge figure of a big human body and a terrifying goat head. It was inhuman. I was driving around it to go past it by in speed, and all my friends were panicking. I see it have a massive claw and tried to get us, but luckily it missed as I drove around it. But it got even more terrifying that my car is floating in the air out of nowhere. So we all panicked and suddenly we crashed. I've woken up and it turned out to be all just a dream. I was shaking and it felt so real I thought we all died. I decided to wake all my friends up and I made a big excuse of why we should leave here. As I said, I left the oven on at home. They all agreed with me and I didn't think they would want to leave too. So we all packed up and left the area. I was driving and I looked at them all. They all seemed to be terrified and trying to tell me I'm glad that we are leaving this area, as I didn't really want to stay, and they all said the same. While I was driving, I told all my friends about why we had to go, and said about the nightmare that I had. But the most creepiest thing is that they all tell me that they had a nightmare about this goat man that killed us all. We were all surprised. After driving for a few miles ahead, we were all in shock that we all see a goat in the middle of the road, but not the one we saw in the dream. It's just a normal actual animal goat. We drove around it and nothing had happened. I can see that all my friends are scared in fear, so we all said we won't ever go camping again, as we all agreed. I drove home safe with all my friends and they all stayed over at mine for a night. So all my friends had gone to sleep in a couple of spare bedrooms. I was the only one who is still up and still confused in fear with the nightmare that I had. I guess I won't know for sure, but it felt like it was some kind of a warning. but I must say it was the scariest experience I ever had, even though it was just a dream. But I'm still terrified and I will never to go camping again. This happened 8 months ago. I went to go camping myself for the whole week, and I do love going camping in some random forest. But now, I will tell you why I will never go camping again. It was a beautiful day in the late afternoon. I was off work for the whole week and I drove a long motorway to travel somewhere far away from distance. I decided to go camping in some random huge forest. It was around 7 p.m. at night and the sun's about to go down. I was driving in a forest and I noticed that there's a red car parked up in the middle of the road. It looks really old and I can't seem to find anyone inside the vehicle. I looked around to see if anyone's about, but there was no one there. I drove around the vehicle and carried on driving for a couple of miles. I found a perfect spot for my car. I parked up and packed all my things to go exploring a huge forest. I went walking for 5 minutes and I chose a perfect spot to camp for a night. I set up my tent and now it's getting very dark. I put some wood outside of the tent and lit up a fire. I was chilling for a bit, but seeing that red car I saw earlier was very sketchy. Makes me wonder why the car was parked there. It was getting late and I feel very tired to myself. So I went inside the tent and I'd been on my phone for a bit before I got to sleep. But then I noticed a strange bright light shining coming from where I parked my car, and then the light switched off. I thought I must have accidentally pressed my car key in my back pocket. I got out of the tent and I walked toward my car just to be sure. After a few minutes of walking I got to my car. I was shocked that I see the same red vehicle had parked next to my car, but no one is inside and the driver door is open wide. I started to realise that I am not alone. Someone must have drove this red car over here for some reason. For the moment I felt so stupid that I have said, "Is anyone here?" There was a moment of silence and now I started to feel freaked out and nervous. I mean, who would drive to this forest at middle of the night and parked up close to my car? I took a look around and I can't find anyone. I walked back to my tent and I wanted to get all my stuff so I can get out of here. That's when I know that I can see someone is inside my tent searching for something. I had my phone and my car key in my pocket, realising for my safety I should just get out of here. I slowly walked backward toward my car while staring at my tent, making sure I'm not being followed. Until then, I stepped on one of the sticks and made a snap noise. I looked at my tent in fear, and that's when a person dashed out of my tent running toward me. I ran and I got inside my car and drove as fast as possible, but then I see a headlight coming toward me really fast behind me. I didn't stop going and I kept on driving. After getting out of forest I have lost the red car that was following me. I did phone the police explaining what just happened and told me to park the nearest gas station in public. The police have arrived to the gas station and want me to show the direction of where this happened. There were 2 police cars followed me and found the same red car that were parked in the middle of the road. They have investigated this area and can't seem to find anyone, but one of the officers told me that he recognised that red car. He said that there had been some report that some dangerous mentally ill man who is over 50-year-old, and he seemed to be a very strange camping stalker who liked to look inside someone's tent. I was freaked out when he told me this, so I said I would like to go home and the police have followed me all the way home for my safety, and they will continue to investigate the forest area. A couple of days later I still feel terrified that this mentally man who stalked me in that forest. I received a phone call from the police and tell me that they caught the man and he'd been sent to the asylum.